how do you look at this? Yesterday it was Generation Gutter. Now clearly that entire fiasco has, blown away. When you hear terms like Generation Gutter, do you see it as a fair criticism of just a few protesters, or do you think this is an insult that is aimed at the entire generation at large, and this is not going down well for Kangana Ranaut? What do you have to say?
I mean, I'm shocked and appalled, the intensity with which BJP spokespersons, BJP politicians, and RSS intellectuals are hitting out at the generation, our generation, youngsters, and young people. What Kangana Ranaut said is in one place, but I also come from Kerala. And there, one of the RSS intellectuals, TG Mohan, he has said that the women who were there at Jantar Mantar, they deserve to be gang raped. And in fact, we would have enjoyed it while we were being sexually harassed by multiple men. So this is
Even
the
though all of those
shocking.
comments are deplorable, I understand, Gopika. Let's focus on what Kangana Ranaut here has said, because this is now turning into a CJP versus Kangana Ranaut battle. I don't want to stifle your voice. You can complete your comment. But, let's not digress from here. And it is equally deplorable what, the RSS member said back there in Kerala as well. Let's not make any bones about that. But let's focus on what Kangana Ranaut here has said and where is this going? Politics and insults taking over the students' issue.
No, Kangana Ranaut, you see, anytime there is a big mobilization or a mass movement happening in the country, she is one of the first people to come out and says all sorts of falsities about the people who are participating in the protest. It happened during the 2020 farmers movement when all of the farmers have, she used a blanket term against them, were calling them Khalistanis, was trying to delegitimize their movement. Again, you can see that once again the Modi government has been defeated or brought to their knees by a mass mobilization, this time by the Gen Z and the youth. Now, we are Duffley Gang, we are urban Naxals, and according to Kangana Ranaut, we are the gutter generation. So, I think what all of this labeling goes to do is they are just adding fuel to the already enraged youth. If this is the trend in which they want to treat us, then I think we also have fitting replies to it. Kangana Ranaut is trying to delegitimize an entire movement by pointing out few people or few statements that came out of the media, while she should look back into her own organization, into her own political party, and understand the level of the heights to which they have.
I'd like to bring in Mayank here. Mayank, you see, being the devil's advocate here, there were some posters that had really deplorable language. There were some statements coming from some of those protesters, some of those Instagram reels, some of those posts that were, had a lot of expletives, that were very abusive. And we understand the anger of the youth, something that was also highlighted in the parliament today. But do you think that this entire Kangana versus CJP spat is, for better or for worse, shifting the attention away from the real issue of the exam reforms?
Yes, sir. I totally agree. This was my point today when I was called by our team. I thought I'll speak up on this point. Every time something happened in this country, what they try to do, bring another point. And today they are bringing Kangana Ranaut as a scapegoat so that people will shift their attention from the actual point to her. People will, media will cover what she said, what CJP spokesperson will said, instead of covering what education reform should comes.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Cherian, let me bring you in finally. Do you think these public figures have the right to use such language? Should they be held to a higher standard because of the influence that they wield? And also, this entire exchange of resumes, one thing was really, funny was that there came a career counseling as well, learn some skills, talking to a man who's been the face of this entire movement, who's been the voice of this entire movement. It's not auguring well for, the actor turned politician from where I'm looking at it. But I mean, my opinion is limited.
In terms of image, Kangana unfortunately is, as Saurav has said, a lightweight and is taken as a kind of, early mover disadvantage so that she goes out there, creates confusion and chaos. And in that process, the concept itself gets reduced. Because she's a well-recognized Bollywood actress, she has a certain kind of following, though that in terms of legitimacy is declining rather fast. And she knows that. and therefore uh, more and more of her utterances are disbalanced. And definitely, as you said, you cannot have a ruling party member of parliament either using this language or dissing any movement this way. In fact, Saurav did very smartly. We have conveniently skipped over that, but he did a very convenient thing by also segueing into her past. And I think that would have probably triggered the second wave of attack by her. And to my mind, what the young people are saying is that the attempt is to reduce the impact of brand Gen Z. But that's not going to happen because these kids have stamina, they have creativity, and they also have a bunch of rules that the oldies are not used to working with.